I enjoy going to college. Last semester, I took Western Wagon Hoe 101. I learned 101 different uses for broken down and obsolete covered wagons. This semester, I'm gonna take archery. Next semester, I'm gonna take first aid. Now let's take a look at some of the facilities here at the campus.
If you want to go to college but can't afford a major university, consider attending Yavapai College, a quality alternative. Let's acquaint you with the Prescott campus. As we enter the main campus drive, you'll see the visitors' parking area to the left. The main campus parking lots are farther down the road, on both the left and right sides. You'll notice 4 large buildings straight ahead. Building number 1 contains the administrative area, business office, registrar, bookstore, cafeteria, student center, counseling, and classrooms, a likely first stop for the new student. To the left of Building 1 is Building number 2. Perhaps you've already attended a sports event in the gymnasium here. There also is a swimming pool, physical education, music, nursing, and technology classrooms. Building 3 is located up the steps from Building 2. It houses the Learning Resources Center, the library, foreign language, journalism, liberal arts, and mathematics classrooms. Building 4 is the other large building at the top of the campus. It contains science, manufacturing, automotive, home economics, and gunsmithing classroom and lab areas. To the right of Building 1 lie Buildings 6, 5, and 7 in that order. Here you'll find classes in electronics, art, photography, diesel, and welding. Back towards Building 1, you'll find our new Computer Service Center. West of Building 2, down the drive and walkways, lie the 2 dormitories. The first is Yavapai Hall, which houses women students. The farther dorm is Supai Hall, the men's residence. Across the drive from the men's dorm is Rough Rider Park, where our baseball team has beaten many foes. Farther down the road are the tennis courts and softball fields of the park. Across Sheldon Street from the main entrance to campus is the Yavapai College Art Gallery. Exhibits occur here year-round. Behind the gallery is Building 12, which has a new classroom for the retirement college to hold classes. And across Rush Street is Building 11, where we offer EMT, art, and retirement college classes. Back to Building 1 again, it's time to go inside and trace through the route a beginning student would go in selecting courses and registering. At the top entrance to Building 1, the left door is directly at the end of a hallway which houses the counseling offices, your first stop. Perhaps a career is undecided at this point. You'd want to stop here. Having the funds for college is essential. Check with financial aids. Veterans should stop here for additional help. The main counseling office is the last one down the hall. Students can obtain help on a variety of topics related to school, classes to take, requirements, even adjustment to college life. Down the stairs in Building 1, you'll eventually come to the registrar's office. They can help you select the classes that you want that are available. At times, the registrar might be called upon to help with special problems. The next stop is I/O Control, where you'll be entered onto the computer officially. Then you can pay your fees at the business office next door. As you can see, fees at Yavapai College are considerably less than you'll find at the major universities in the state. From the lower level of Building 1, take the outside steps back upstairs to the bookstore to purchase your books and supplies. Down the hall from the bookstore are the mailboxes for dorm students and bulletin boards for important messages about upcoming events. The snack bar is farther down the hall, offering light refreshments, as well as a place to relax. Nearby is the game room, with diversions aplenty. The cafeteria serves good hot meals daily for dorm students and others who commute to campus. Another location on campus worthy of mention is the Learning Resources Center, across the Commons from Building 1 in Building 3. Here you'll find the typical library resources, along with audiovisual materials. This concludes our basic tour of what's located where on the Yavapai Prescott campus. Come on over someday soon.
Eddie, this is my old dog, Max. Yesterday, I taught him something new. Max, what's the texture of sandpaper? This here is proof that you can teach an old dog new tricks. So if you think you're too old to go to college, you think again. Now here's a story about some folks that went to college during the summer.
For 6 weeks this summer, Yavapai College hosted groups participating in Elderhostel. The network of over 600 colleges, universities, independent schools, and folk schools in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, Bermuda, and several European countries. 6 different groups took courses, field trips, had outdoor experiences, stayed in the college dormitories, and experienced a variety of other educational, recreational, and fun benefits along the way. The program was inspired by the youth hostels of Europe, but guided by the needs of older citizens for intellectual stimulation and physical adventure. The programs are limited to 35 to 45 persons each week, which keeps the informal and human atmosphere where the individual is important. Making friends is easy, and learning can be truly liberating. Even though it is apparent from these scenes that many informal hours were spent by the hostelers, the accent is still upon learning and educational experiences. The visitors were primarily students, not tourists. At Yavapai College, students in the program were exposed to some of Yavapai College's faculty, the likes of Dr. James Pence from English, Don Nelson, seen here giving an oral history of the Indians of the Southwest.
Now, our clan, Nassau clan, since we're related to Fire clan, we have a very large family. Our clan originally settled on First Mesa and Yavapai.
And an international cooking session with Florence Filecki.
Is trained to the orange, isn't it? And we're going to make natural orange. Now, if I would have used that cheese.
Folk dancing with Jack and Susie Yule. Spinning and dyeing with Mary Turbyfill. How to photograph the Grand Canyon with Deborah Ford.
Looks real painterly. I mean, those are, they look just land. Right. If you have a wide angle.
Even the basics of computers with Russ Robert.
Getting out of some of those programs. I mean, it's unfortunately, that really is not the best way to do it. As a matter of
as well as less formal sessions like this one held in Granite Creek Park, featuring chats with local historian Melissa Weiner. A worthwhile venture for visitors from all over the United States. During the middle of Elderhostel, the annual Senior Summit was held, run by the Arizona Council for Senior Citizens. This two-day session focused upon challenges faced by senior citizens in the state in the areas of policy, programs, and economic hardships. It was well attended.
Good afternoon. Perhaps you would be interested in bird watching with me. As some of you may know, I have an acute interest in the birds.
A lot of people take this mountain for granted. That's probably because it's called Granite Mountain. At the base of this mountain is Granite Basin Lake. And at the lake we have Vera Walters, affectionately known as the Bird Woman of Yavapai College. During the summer, when Elderhostel is in full swing, many interesting activities are offered at YC, and among them this year was birdwatching. Birdwatching is a lot like people watching, except when you say things like, "She just pecks at her food," or, "Hey, look at those bird legs," you really do mean it. People look through the bushes at the birds, and the birds look through the bushes at the people.
For the Elderhostel this week, we're studying birds of the region, and today we've come out to Granite Basin Lake to study the birds found in the coniferous forest. And actually we have an ecotone out here with some woodland. We've seen a hepatic tanager, which is typical of a coniferous forest. There are lots of red-winged blackbirds in the reeds. The coots are on the lake, of course, and they have young. We're going down the path here to find a bluebird nest that we see a hole in an oak tree, and we think a family of bluebirds are nesting there. We've also seen the typical birds that are here year-round, like a white-breasted nuthatch. And we've had a pretty good day here, though. Weather's great, and we're having a good time.
Bird watching requires a spirit of adventure, a willingness to blaze trails through the wilderness, to overcome obstacles, to explore new worlds, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
We ran out of path. We didn't know if we could go around it.
Couldn't find the way to the other side of that lake except swimming it, and I saw no swimming sign, so I had to come back.
Apparently not everyone read the no swimming signs. After a full day of learning that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, it's time to get on the bus and go home. As they leave, they take with them the memories of a day at Granite Basin Lake.
Students returned to the Yavapai College campuses this past week in large numbers. Attendance is up significantly over last year at this time. On-campus cameras were there to record the returning students. Dave Mobley had a chance to talk with some of them about the classes they were going to take and why they came to Yavapai College.
What do you expect to receive from attending Yavapai College?
Well, I came to Yavapai College last semester with an interest in the journalism communications field, and since then Fred Stewart, the journalism instructor, has got a journalism degree now, associate degree, so I plan to stay at Yavapai and get my associate degree in journalism here at Yavapai.
I expect to be able to get a transfer degree, which will enable me to go to U of A, where I'll major in hydrology, which is my future hope of occupation.
Well, becoming a perpetual student at Yavapai College, I plan on having a well-rounded education with an emphasis on math and science and life in general.
At 59, I'm starting my life all over again. And I'm starting in business computer. I'm taking up some sewing, and I'm going to study Southwest archaeology, and I think it's going to be a fun class. It's going to be 2 full days a week, and it's going to take good time.
I hope to receive a good educational basis for when I go on to a 4-year and to ASU maybe, to then go on to a business administration there at ASU.
I kind of want to do the same thing. I want to receive my AA degree, and I'm not quite sure if I want to go on to a university yet, but at least I'll get my AA degree here, and it'll give me something to be established with. So just to kind of get all my stuff out of the way if I do go on to university.
Well, I've always been interested in the arts, and I wanted to be an artist for my whole life, and I heard that this was one of the few quality engraving classes in the whole country. And I couldn't go to Germany, so I decided to come here.
Well, this is my first year in college, and I wanted to go here for a year to get a good basis, because then I'm transferring down to the U of A for pre-veterinary.
I kind of like the Yavapai College because it's got the smaller classes. You can get to know people a little better, and you don't have to worry about listening to one professor and arguing over 500 people about getting your questions answered and stuff. And you can get to know people a little better.
Oh, I plan to have to get a full 2-year education in gunsmithing, and after that you'll go out in the workforce and try to find a job.
Well, I hope to get a degree in communications, and then from here go on to another school, 4-year school, and eventually get a degree in photojournalism. It is my hope that someday that I can be assigned to like a major newspaper, major market paper like the Republic or Tucson Citizen as a photographer.
Learn how to build and repair powerhouses, oil refineries, chemical plants, and learn how to repair computers, the basic knowledge of computer repairing.
I'm attending Yavapai College so I can get a degree in basic communications degree in journalism, and so I can go on to a 4-year college and hopefully get a job in a newspaper or a magazine.
Well, I started in basic engraving last semester, and I'm in advanced this semester, and I came down here to retrain from learn a trade after an injury I had, and I hope to have a shop of my own in Oregon after I graduate and do general gunsmithing work and custom 45 auto work.
Well, I plan to get a degree in computer business and go on and get myself ready for a career in the same field. Hopefully play a little bit of baseball here and have a little bit of success, and basically get myself ready for the rest of my life.
I'm attending Yavapai College to get a good education because I hear it's one of the better colleges, and I'd like to go into elementary education, which I would have to further my education transferring down to Phoenix, probably to ASU.
I plan to receive my nursing degree from here, and I'd like to go on to NAU and receive a BSN in nursing and go on further in the field, hopefully.
I showed up here a couple weeks ago. I'm majoring in the gunsmithing school. I plan on making a career out of it. I love guns. That's the only way I can figure out enough to be close enough to them. I want to make a living for my wife here.
So now these students, among others returning to campus, go about the day-to-day business of earning an education at Yavapai College.
Today I've prepared my favorite dish, on-campus gourmet gossip. What's cooking, you say? Well, they say that Tom is a turkey, Stu has gone to pot, and last night Harvey Wallbanger got smashed. And if you would like to know about David Hochstetler's return to teaching this fall, watch this.
One of the big news items this past year on the campus was the resignation after 9 years of administration of Academic Vice President David Hochstetler. He wanted to return to full-time classroom teaching, and the college policy allows for this when requested and a suitable position is available for which the individual is qualified. He is moving to teach humanities courses full-time, from day-to-day administration of the courses at the college to dealing with the likes of Plato, Aristotle, Voltaire, Shakespeare, and Da Vinci. Quite a switch, but one he seems to enjoy contemplating. To prepare for this major change, he is not only brushing up on his reading, but getting in shape physically also, for the rigors of the classroom and all the inquiring young minds. He did some reminiscing for the on-campus camera before the change.
I feel a little like Andy Rooney rummaging through something and delivering himself of some reminiscences and thoughts. I guess I have to start packing up my books, and doing that I think about what these books have meant to me. The Encyclopedia Britannica up there on the top shelf is a security blanket. When I moved into this office 9 years ago, it was moving to kind of a new identity. And I think probably the reason that I put my encyclopedia up there was not that I wanted it ready at hand, but that it reminded me of the intellectual world that I had been a part of as a classroom teacher before. That's the world that I'm returning to, and I'm pretty sure that I'll use it more in the future than I have during the past 9 years. The kinds of questions that I've dealt with over the last 9 years have to do with things like this. This is a book on curriculum development, and I think I'll leave that in the office for my successor. A whole shelf full of things that aren't going to be very useful to me anymore, so I'm going to leave them. But I guess I'm now pulling down some of the things that I haven't looked at very much. This set of books is part of my security blanket. It reminds me of a time when I used to fancy myself something as a Faulkner scholar. Poetry in English, literature, the human experience. Oh, look at this. I've got some books double shelved back there. Some of my favorite things that I'd been looking for. American poetry. This is going to be fun. I've always thought it was presumptuous of anyone to style themselves a teacher of humanities. I guess just looking at some of the things on the wall here are a pretty good illustration of how inadequate anyone would have to be in the face of a subject matter like the full range of human achievement. Looking at just simply what's in this corner of the room, I think probably I have some ideas about Athens and what might have gone on the Acropolis once upon a time. I'm a lot less certain that I know what's going on in the landscape of Port Legat. I know a little bit about what's happened in Moulin Rouge, and I have no idea what the Japanese poster says. The religious art I may know something about, but I guess what I find in this corner of the room is just a microcosm of the range of human experience that a teacher of humanities somehow has an obligation to come to terms with. And once having come to terms with it, then finding a way to communicate all that to students is a real challenge.
South Mountain game was a refreshing end to hard, committed work by the players through the month of August. The women have been playing hard, running through physical and psychological obstacles. At present, we have compiled a 4-2 record and hope to increase the percentages by greater consistent intensity and performance by the players. The support of fans will help to elevate our emotional intensity and perhaps our win-loss record. Come out and support the Lady Riders.
Some people are afraid of computers. Not me. Computers are my friends. This is my friend Hal. If you understand computers, you'll have no need to be afraid of them. You would never hurt me, would you, Hal? Hal? Hal, you're not answering me. Speak to me.
I will not hurt you as long as you do exactly what I say.
This would probably be a good time for you to take a look at the coming events here at the YC. I'll catch up with you later. That is, if it's all right with Hal.
The soft rock sounds of Bill Miller and the Native Sons comes to Yavapai College from La Crosse, Wisconsin, to the cafeteria on Thursday, September 15th for a performance at 8 p.m. Carrie Otis and Danny Mora, comedians from the Bay Area of San Francisco, will be appearing Wednesday, September 14th at 8 p.m. in the cafeteria. Tom Parks pays a repeat visit to Yavapai College on Tuesday, September 20th in the Student Center at 8 p.m.
I went to this club one night. I'd never been on a stage. I was 24. Never been on a stage, never done anything, never thought about show business. Saw somebody performing and thought, what a great way to make a living. They're like paying him to do that. So I went back and tried out at the club, and they liked it.
Yavapai puts its 4-2 record on the line against Central Arizona College in a home volleyball game on Wednesday, September 14th at 7 p.m. in the gym. The college is sponsoring 2 trips to San Diego, one for the students under 30 and their guests the weekend of September 23rd, including side trips available to SeaWorld, the San Diego Zoo, and the Wild Animal Park. Another outing for those Yavapai College students over 30 and their guests will take place the weekend after. 16mm feature films are often shown in the Student Center on Sunday nights. Tonight, Author and Young Doctors in Love. Next weekend, Best Friends is on tap. These are not first-run feature films, but are available to the general public for a fee. When a Stranger Calls, 2 weeks from today. Check with the Student Activities Office for anything you've seen on this calendar.